Today I have the opportunity to sit and talk with Tech Sgt. Erin Bernik from the 301st Fighter Wing Safety Office and answer any questions that our enlisted force has about today's Air Force and 10th Air Force in general.
Chief Loper, you've been the command chief for 10th Air Force for 2 years now. Overall, what's your favorite part about this assignment?
My favorite part of any assignment is our airmen. Getting out to see them. In this job, we get to travel so much because we have so much diversity of mission, right? We have everything from special operations wings to rescue fighters, bombers, intel, space, air operations centers, airborne command and control. It's great to get out and see our airmen and learn what they do because I don't have any experience in 99% of those mission sets. So we get out and we hear about their problems, you know, and watch them do the mission and see where their barriers are. Some of them they don't even know, or they don't even recognize as barriers anymore because they're just so used to it. But that actually helps us come back and make some decisions, either recommendations for policy changes or budgeting decisions, anything that we're manning decisions to try to help them get after their mission. So my favorite part is absolutely going to see our airmen and seeing the mission they do because they're just awesome. But the second piece is being able to bring that back here and make some change.
Well, that's perfect. You're talking about change. It seems like overall enlisted force development is constantly changing. Is there any information you'd like to give our airmen in terms of what they might be able to expect in the future for their careers?
Well, the basics aren't changing, right? I mean, our job as airmen and NCOs and senior NCOs is to accomplish the mission, take care of our wingmen, utilize our resources effectively, and you know, improve the unit. But what's really changing is how we deliver that training. They're using technologies in tech school now for virtual reality. We've changed the curriculum for our ALS and NCO and senior NCO academies, and we're actually getting after working up the REGAF is their university of new distance learning to make that more effective for our reserve and guard, traditional reservists and traditional guardsmen. But so I think the big change in what we can expect is that how we use technology to get after and train, you know, the things that make us airmen. I think that we need to, as enlisted as we progress, the thing that we need to do better is to understand how our airmen are being trained, because it's not the way we were trained, and it's more effective. So I think that the days of block training, you know, where you would get your 5 level and you would work for a while, and then you would go to 7 level school and you would work for a while, that's changing, and it's really more of a continuum of learning. So the challenge is for us as senior enlisted leaders to understand how we're training our airmen to actually make that more effective and learn ourselves.
Yes, sir. And we're talking about progression in general, like you were just saying. Is there anything that you would like to say that as an A1C you wish you would have known this for the rest of your career?
Oh man, so that's a big question. My first assignment as a nuclear command post controller was a PRP assignment. So I think the thing that I would have liked to have known then that I know now is how to use the resources our Air Force has. Mental health, the chaplain's corps, our financial services, all of the resources that we have. Because back then, quite honestly, it was crisis management only, and you never talked to them unless, and that's sad. That's how I was raised. So we have these resources now, and we have for a long time. And on our chaplains and our mental health resources are really there for a preventative maintenance every single day, not just when there's a crisis. So I think as an A1C, I would have liked to have been encouraged to talk to those people anytime I needed to get anything off my chest. We do it pretty well. The SOF community has what's called the POTF program, and we've adapted that into the RPA community for the human capital, the human capital teams, and they encourage that. We just need to make sure that our airmen understand that every time and any time they need to talk to somebody, those resources are not just when there's a crisis.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Chief, recently General Borgen talked about the 10th Air Force being the tip of the sword. How do support functions factor into that?
Well, General Borgen's July commentary, he talked about the tip of the sword in reference to where 10th Air Force fits as the combat force provider for Air Force Reserve Command. But when we drill that down to the unit level and we talk about tip of the sword, tip of the spear, the support functions are the weight of that sword. We don't have anything if we don't have our support functions. Today's Air Force is the smallest Air Force we've had since 1947. Every AFSC is vitally important to mission accomplishment, mission success. So a lot of times we focus on the specific weapon system that particular wing employs, but really it's every single airman in that organization making that mission happen. A great example of this is the 919th Special Operations Wing. When you go visit the 919th, you're going to see Special Operations LRS, Special Operations Security Forces. Everybody is directly tied to the mission of that organization. We see the same in our rescue community. They're all combat search and rescue. It doesn't matter what your AFSC is. So it's so important as enlisted leaders and as any leadership that we tie all of our airmen to the mission of that organization, because every single person is vital to the success of that mission. So to answer your question, they are the weight behind that sword.
And overall, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I'd take a minute to thank our airmen and their families for what they do every day so that we can provide power and vigilance to our combatant commanders into the fight. Major General Borgen and I are so proud to be part of this team, and the team of especially the senior enlisted leaders, those carnivores out there that are actually at the points of friction, making sure that we move the mission forward and that we continue to provide our COCOMs with the combat capability that is 10th Air Force. And as always, fight's on.